The start of the film we see a mishap including a 15-year-old young lady subsequent to being found oblivious. She is raced to the emergency clinic where a female specialist examines her bag and discovers that the patient is the daughter of one of her colleagues. She has taken aback and she immediately tells her father Timoteo he is our protagonist when he found out that his daughter had been seriously injured. In a motorcycle accident he was taken aback. His other colleague demands an end to any relationship with a girl. He went outside to wait for her operation to be completed. Timoteo had already mentally prepared himself for any possibility despite the fact that the probability of the surgery being successful was quite low. Timoteo looks out of a window to see or imagine seeing. He notices a young woman taking a chair out into the pouring rain where she is seated with her back turned to him. The fact that he reacts in surprise when he sees her bright red heel shows that he is familiar with them. The remainder of the movie is made of his following memories of a previous relationship. In a flashback we see Timoteo just outside of town yet again when his vehicle stalled on a hot day. He strolls to a close-by shop and plunks down. He asks for an auto shop as well as a telephone corner. Italia, a lady of Albanian beginning who works at the bar and is wearing red heels, approaches him with a proposal to allow him to settle on a decision from her home. In the wake of going into her home, Timoteo was at that point tipsy when he saw her. He attempted to call, however the association bombed. Notwithstanding this he is vigorously dunked. He strongly gets his hands on her, sticking her to the ground and powerfully assaulted her and leaves her there. After that we see Elsa, who is Timoteo's delightful spouse, and we figure out that they like to invest their energy at the ocean side. Yet Timoteo isn't cheerful on the grounds that he feels remorseful about the things he's finished in the beyond. A couple of days after the fact he gets back to a similar town to watch Italia. He communicated his second thoughts for the earlier day. He guarantees it happened in light of the fact that he was inebriated. Italia show kindness toward him. This time he went to Italy's home and he kept on acting similarly. She was constrained into having sexual contact. In spite of this, over the long haul Timoteo continues onward back to a similar lady, Italia, and he generally exploits the impeccably chiseled physique that is hanging off of her mind as it is uncovered later. He thusly professes to go gaga for her. She resides alone, so she additionally acknowledges him. After some time has elapsed, Elsa, Timoteo's better half, becomes mindful of her significant other's obliviousness as well as the demolishing condition of their relationship. Subsequently she strolls to the parlor to cooperate with him, and soon thereafter both of them wind up dozing together. Timoteo then again would keep on paying day-to-day visits to his new sweetheart. One day while playing a tomfoolery game at the bar he figures out that she is pregnant. He takes her to the clinic. He behaves like an outsider before his partners. She implores him to, if it's not too much trouble, keep me with him and not forsake me in any situation. Moreover, he cherishes her, an extraordinary arrangement. Some time later his wife went to Germany for work. Then he goes to Italia's house where he examines her body and belly for pregnancy. They go shopping. They spend their time together happily. Just as he is about to tell his wife the truth about his recent actions, he finally gathers the courage to tell her everything. Later on Timoteo comes upon Italia, who appears to be mentally unbalanced and is dancing wildly outside of her house. When he criticizes her and agitated, Italia tells him that she had their child aborted. This leads to the two engaging in a particularly harsh verbal confrontation, during which it is revealed that Italy's father took advantage of her when she was a little girl. Timoteo was left inconsolable by the news, since the one thing he had hoped to do with her was to start a family. Then Timoteo packs his things and heads back to his house to be with his pregnant wife. After that there is another flashback that we see Timoteo and Elsa are currently spectating a judo competition together. Angela, Timoteo's daughter, is shown getting prepared for the fight. When the coordinates started she couldn't stay aware of her rival, who immediately won. Apparently she isn't keen on taking part in battle. After that Timoteo offers her some guidance. Despite this she shouted through her tears, "I'm not a kid, father, I'm a young lady. Before everybody I hold on to no longing to get back to this spot." He likewise comprehends it. Then seen again it bounces back to the past. After some time has elapsed Timoteo is making the rounds with his pregnant spouse. When they choose to go out to shop, Timoteo spots Italia from among individuals in the group. As they get into the taxi he guaranteed that he had lost his charge card and he had his significant other sent home in a taxi. He surges after her in the downpour. After he has at last found her he gives Italia his genuine sympathies and asks for her pardon for the aggravation that he has caused in the wake of responding savagely. At first Italia explains to him that she currently knew why He was unable to leave his better half and that she comprehended. He additionally determined from her that she was planning to move to a new place in the near future. Italia and Timoteo engage in a lip-locking exchange. They continue their personal conversation. Despite the rain, Elsa gives birth to a daughter. They chose the name Angela for the little girl. Elsa is still able to read her husband's behavior and sense what he is thinking, despite the fact that everyone is overjoyed about the new baby. He wasn't doing perfectly well even about the news. He was lying to his wife about going to duty. He visits Italia at her home to give her his farewell wishes, but she is late for the train. Upon hearing this, Timoteo offers to drive Italia down to her hometown. While they were traveling together, his love for Italia deepened, and by the time they arrived in their destination town, he had told her that he wanted to marry her. While having dinner, Timoteo marries himself off to Italia and refers to her as my wife. While speaking to a waiter during that particular night, he is stirred from rest by Italia shouts as she battles to oppose the horrifying aggravation that is seething in her gut. She is hurried to the closest clinic where an ultrasound uncovers that her midsection is loaded up with blood, demonstrating a messed up fetus removal. After that, Timoteo goes ahead with the procedure on Italia. Since he is frantic even in the wake of acquiring cognizance and grinning at him, unfortunately she is dead. A horrendously anguished feeling where words couldn't portray. His flashback closes. He leaves after a medical attendant illuminates him that his girl's condition has settled. He visited his girl and shed tears with each masculine boldness he had left with him later. Subsequent to crying on the telephone, his better half comes to him after hearing her little girl was engaged with a mishap. She guaranteed her oblivious girl to shave her own hair, totally make them both seem to be little miscreants, and photo them until they recover up. The woman who sat in the downpour took out a mirror, and in the wake of hearing that Timoteo's girl was okay, she grinned in the mirror as though it was her essential objective in the final venture and ease. Timoteo takes out Italia's red shoe, which she had lost en route to the medical clinic the day she passed on, and which the burial service organization would not put in the shut casket, and which he had painstakingly saved, and kisses at it. Thanks. He set the shoe precisely where he had expected to see the one who looked like his genuine romance. The film closes with this contacting scene. Gratitude for watching the film. If it's not too much trouble, buy into my feed by Fare Thee Well.